Hey guys, welcome back to Me Run TCG, and today we're talking about how you can win your matches with Luffy in the limited deck battles format.
And his name is
Luffy. The first thing you need to know when you're playing Luffy is you are not an aggro deck. I mean, you kind of are, but not exactly, and definitely not like you're thinking. You are in fact a mid-range deck, which is slightly different. The Moonmen TCG Dictionary defines a mid-range deck as a deck that plays aggressive early with the goal to end the game in the mid to late game, whereas an aggro deck is a deck that is trying to simply end the game as quickly as possible. Now, what does that mean for you as a Luffy player? Well, it means that you shouldn't be focusing exclusively on damage. Building a dominant board is just as important as early damage, because if you only focus on early damage, you'll fizzle out and struggle to end the game as it progresses. If you build a strong enough board early on, you'll be able to close out the game when the time is right for you. However, you certainly cannot forget about damage, as you need to get all that early damage in order to have the option to close out the game later on. The trick is to find a balance between building your own board state and just going for life. If you're exclusively using your rush pieces to try and end the game, well then you should just be playing aggro, which is not what we can do in limited deck battles. But at the same time, if you're never doing anything aggressive, your opponent's just going to sit at a lot of life and be able to control what you're doing along the way, as all other decks have better ways to control the board than a Luffy deck. The best way to find this balance is through practice, but I can give you a few tips to aid you in that direction. One of the easiest ways to do this is to get your larger costing rush pieces, such as the 6-drop Luffy, out sooner, because this will allow you to have bigger bodies on board that are immediately applying pressure, but are also more difficult for your opponent to remove. And while we're on the topic, I do believe that you shouldn't be playing the red Luffy deck unless you have at least 3, if not 4, of this Luffy promo. The good news is if you attended a pre-release, you should have at least 2, maybe even 3 if you're especially talented. But even still, I would not go into a major event with a red Luffy in limited deck battles without 4 of this promo. Now sure, if you've been gifted a glorious hand of almost exclusively rush, you're in very good stead, and I suggest just rushing out with all of your pieces because your opponent will be answering your board, but you'll be applying them pressure every single turn. But that is not the most common scenario. If you have the option between playing a Sanji and attacking immediately for damage, or playing a Zoro and building a board for a stronger next turn, you generally want to lean towards the Zoro play. Another tip I can give you is it's really important to remember to sequence your actions properly. As tempting as it is to play that Zoro before you swing so that you can use your leader effect to make your leader a 6k instead of a 5k, if you swing and hit a who's who, you probably just lost the game just off that one simple misplay. Tempo is hugely important in this game. While this may work for you for most of your games, when you're playing so many games in a row in a big tournament setting and you're vying for first or second, you just can't afford to play risky like that. You need to play safe because eventually your luck will run out. That trigger will be the Sables, it will be the Who's Who, it will be the Jet Pistol, and you're going to lose that round because of it, and that's going to cost you a big spot in the tournament. Another good thing to remember is to be saving your Diablo Jombay for when you really need them. I don't use my Diablo Jombay unless A, I have multiple in hand, so using them is a little easier, or B, it's going to win me the game. People tend to use them proactively sometimes and then struggle to close out the game. Remember, we're a mid-range deck. The purpose of our deck is to be ending in the mid to late game. We shouldn't be using our Diablo Jombay as an aggressive piece. Lastly, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you is it is oftentimes better to try and get your opponent to 0 life than it is to win a game outright in a Luffy deck. Now, obviously, if you see the chance to end the game, I'm not necessarily saying you shouldn't take it. What I am saying is it's very easy if your opponent is at 0 life to end the game with Luffy, either via Diablo Jombay or the 5-cost Luffy. Most of the games I win with Mono Red Luffy, I win because I've gotten my opponent to 0 life and then have a fresh turn to try and kill them, instead of fumbling around. Unless you really feel like game is either guaranteed or you can't afford to hold off a turn for some reason, such as right now they have no dawn up and you don't know when you'll get that window again, or they're going to win game on the following turn, it's often better to get your opponent 2-0 and then continue on with a 5-drop Luffy or a Diablo Jombay. Well, I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps us out at the channel. And stay tuned, because I'll be doing videos for the other limited deck battles shortly. See you next time. Today's video was sponsored by Top Deck TCG. This is an awesome website where not only can you buy singles for some of your favorite trading card games, but it acts as a hub for various content creators so you can stay up to date in those games. This is their homepage. As you can see, they currently carry Flesh and Blood, Digimon, Transformers, and Star Wars Destiny. They are going to be carrying One Piece in the winter when its official American release comes out. If you go over to game videos and podcasts, you can see some of your favorite content creators, including your favorite One Piece content creators, for all of these various games so that you can stay up to date on what is good right now. It's all very easy to use, and the guy is great. And if you use your promo code TheMoonmen, not case sensitive at all, you'll get 10% off any order you place. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. I certainly hope you did. You can find links to my Twitch and my Patreon in the description, as well as the promo code and the links to Top Deck TCG. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.